In my previous life, to survive, I took advantage of the rise and fall of Atlantis and Lan Shi's severe injuries to steal his genes. Brother, he's completely out of control. Who are you? I was originally a low-tier, defective white mermaid from the lowest depths of the waste sea. I was adopted as a daughter by Dr. Shendu. My adoptive father said Lan Shi, the new king of Atlantis, was the only SSS-rank pureblood mermaid in the waste sea. I had to obtain Lan Shi's pureblood embryo to repair my collapsing genes. I believed my adoptive father. Taking advantage of the moment Lan Shi was defending the sea and was severely wounded by a sea beast, I forced him into a night of passion to take what I needed. After the night, I stole his embryo. I fled back to the laboratory. I found that I had successfully conceived Lan Shi's embryo. I foolishly thought that my adoptive father could use the embryo to extract a repair agent to cure my genetic collapse, but later, because the SSS-rank bloodline of the embryo was too domineering, my body was quickly drained by the fetus. My adoptive father fell into a frenzy. He completely tore off his mask of a kind father, intending to cruelly cut the embryo out of my womb. Study hard. Don't blame father. You are just a low-level incubator. Your only value for existing is to gestate Lan Shi's pureblood embryo for me. So, for father's research, why don't you sacrifice your life? He didn't even flinch, concentrating on cutting open my stomach. He took away the 3 newly formed embryos, and then, covered in blood, with my abdomen hollowed out, he threw me directly into a highly irradiated trench, even as the sea beasts bit off my arms, tore open my tail fin, and ate me piece by piece. I snapped my eyes open fiercely, breaking into a cold sweat. Subconsciously, I tightly protected my lower abdomen. Looking at my reflection in the metal plate, my body was intact, and my white fishtail was still there. Tears streamed down my face. I had been reborn. In the previous life, the pain of being disemboweled and torn by sea beasts was still clearly etched in my body. In this life, I must never repeat those mistakes. He wasn't cultivating a potion to save me at all. Once my flesh and blood were sucked dry by the embryo in my womb, he would cast me aside. Without a word, I raided the lab, taking the highest grade nutrients and anti-radiation supplies. I escaped the research center through the sewage tunnel. This time, I will survive. I will take the pureblood embryo in my womb and find Lan Shi. It wasn't until I boarded a black market transit pod, bound for Atlantis, that my mind began to clear. My stomach was churning with discomfort. The domineering embryo inside me was frantically absorbing my vitality. I quickly took out a vial from my waterproof bag, one of the stolen high-grade nutrient solutions, to replenish my energy. Just as I brought it to my lips, a dark shadow suddenly flashed before my eyes. A sharp claw lunged violently toward my mouth. Missing its mark, a mermaid's head slammed into the high-voltage electric grid of the pod floor. Failing to snatch the nutrient solution from my hand, he instead ended up convulsing all over, screaming in pain. What are you looking at? It was you just now, wasn't it? You intentionally dodged to let my brother get electrocuted. It's just a bottle of nutrients. Would giving him a sip cost you a few scales? Do you have any idea? My older brother is the city defense general of Atlantis. Since you dared to harm my younger brother, how many lives do you have to pay for it? First of all, this is my property. Taking it without asking is theft. Whether I give it or not is my choice. Secondly, given how he lunged at me just now, if I hadn't dodged, he would have slammed directly into my stomach. Stop the nonsense. What use are your excuses? My brother is the city defense general of Atlantis. If my younger brother's genes fracture from the shock, can you take responsibility for that? Lin said this intentionally to intimidate me. In the waste sea of the apocalypse, everyone fears the Atlantis City Defense Force. A low-tier, defective white mermaid. Crossing such a local tyrant would likely be skinned and deboned. No one was truly going to help. Everyone was a stranger there. That mermaid had the military backing her up. They could only stare at the supplies in my hand, with a mix of pity and greed. So? What do you want to do? You must compensate us with supplies. My brother was electrocuted because of your dodge. It might not show now, but what if his genes collapse after we disembark? Where would I find you then? Hand over all the high-grade nutrient solutions in your bag. Then cut off a section of your own fishtail. As an apology. A mermaid dies if their tail is severed. They failed to steal someone else's things, got electrocuted themselves, and now they want a life in return? Isn't this intentionally trying to drive her to death? Since you've calculated it so clearly, then I should settle the score with you too. I can give you the high-grade nutrients. But if anything happens to the embryo in my womb, who should I hold responsible? Actually, this nutrient solution was meant to provide energy for my unborn child. That monster almost hit my stomach just now. I feel like my genetic chain is a bit unstable now. What should we do? You're just making things up. A low-level defective product like you. Who knows what sewer monsters bastard you're carrying? Is that so? You'll find out very soon. I directly released the mental concealment over the embryo in my abdomen. In an instant, a violent pressure of SSS-rank mental power erupted from my flat belly and swept through the entire diving pod like a tsunami. That was the bloodline aura belonging to the new king, Lan Shi. Everyone, including Lin, was forced to their knees on the ground. Under this absolute bloodline suppression, you said you're going to join your city defense general brother. Coincidentally, I am also going to the royal city. I am carrying the pure blood heir of your new king, Lan Shi. He repeatedly told me to take care of my health. Tell me, after that scare from your brother, I feel like the fetus has become agitated. Stop slandering people. How could King Shi touch a defective product like you? Don't even think about extorting us. Half a day later, the diving pod docked outside the royal city of Atlantis. I dragged my heavy fishtail, avoided the patrolling city defense guards, and walked straight toward the center of the royal city, to that magnificent deep-sea temple. Today was the grand ceremony of Lan Shi's coronation. I looked at the heavily guarded white jade steps, and the rows of heavily armored siren guards standing tall. I felt a bit apprehensive, but there was no turning back. My adoptive father's pursuers could arrive at any time, and the embryo in my womb was about to drain me dry. I bit the tip of my tongue, using the pain to force out the last ounce of my mental power, and violently pushed open the heavy stone sea gates of the hall. Who is it? Inside the hall, dozens of high-ranking mermaid nobles turned their heads in unison. Upon the throne, Lan Shi, clad in silver-blue battle armor, held the trident that symbolized royal power. His cold, majestic gaze shot toward me like a sharp blade. I was soaked through, my face pale, facing the disdainful and shocked looks of all the nobles. I took step after step toward Lan Shi. Lan Shi, I'm pregnant with your child. That scepter, forged from 10,000-year sea moon iron, was crushed with a visible crack by the new king. The next second, the cold trident was suddenly pressed against my throat. The hall fell into a deathly silence. Dozens of pure-blood nobles gasped for air. This king has never touched anyone. Who sent you? I knew that on that night when Lan Shi was incapacitated, a genetic riot had wiped away all his memories of being out of control. I was trembling with pain. The embryo in my womb, sensing its father's powerful mental energy, was frantically acting up, nearly draining the last of my life force. What I am carrying is your pure-blood heir. Nonsense. The SSS-rank genes of the new king. Someone with your low-level, defective white mermaid genes could never withstand them. Let alone carry the king's bloodline. Where did you get the courage to speak such arrogant words at the coronation ceremony and tarnish the new king's reputation? The speaker was Chief Feng, the deputy commander of the city defense force. He had just received a message from his sister that this lowly mermaid had injured his brother and had an embryo with S-rank mental power in her belly. It is my dereliction of duty to let such a lowly creature sneak in. I will take her out right now and execute her on the spot. Lan Shi. 3 days ago during your genetic riot, you forcibly left your embryo inside me. You just forgot it. Lan Shi's ears instantly turned bright red, and a flash of violent killing intent crossed his eyes. His genetic riot was a royal secret. A low-tier white mermaid could not possibly know about it. Stop. At the grand coronation of the new king, no blood must be shed. Take this white mermaid to the side palace. I will interrogate her personally. It is indeed SSS rank mental energy fluctuations. Even with Lan Shi's pure-blood genes, there is only a 1 in 10,000 chance of successful gestation. Lan Shi, how could you be so foolish? The royal pure-blood offspring are so rare. You actually let him wander outside, and almost killed him with your own hands. The high priest spoke solemnly. This king has never touched any woman. Let alone someone like this. She can't even withstand my S-level mental pressure. Even if she is carrying my blood, she must have used extraordinary means to steal my genes. She harbors ill intentions. Please step out first. This king will interrogate her personally. Your pure-blood heir is extremely difficult to conceive. Do not harm the embryo in her womb. Speak up. How did you steal this king's genes? If you don't tell the truth, this king will cut your belly open right now and dig out that lump of flesh. Do you really remember nothing at all? There is a secret title kiss mark on your chest. It glows and appears when you are moved by emotion. Do you want me to describe in detail, in front of the high priest, how I saw it light up that night? Behind the deep-sea reef? Lan Shi's body suddenly stiffened. That title kiss was the most core secret of his genes. Except for the successive kings, no one knew of its existence, let alone its characteristic of appearing during arousal. He stared at me intently. The killing intent in his eyes gradually replaced by shock and confusion. The absolute logic he took pride in had collapsed. A genetic surge will cause you amnesia. But your body remembers what happened. Why does my body want to get closer, uncontrollably? Lan Shi lowered his head, approaching my lips. I knew that was an instinct belonging to an SSS rank possessor. When nearing the host who had accepted the genetic surge, his body would lose control or even go wild. And the host's soothing could establish a deep bond between us. Don't be afraid. You aren't in a genetic surge now. Try to relax. An intense, highly aggressive mental power instantly enveloped me. Great. Lan Shi's mental power is exactly what's needed to soothe the embryo in my womb. Master, what on earth is going on? But my body felt as if it were under the deepest poison. Not only could he not bring himself to strike, there was even an urge to rub her into his very blood and bones. Fortunately, his body still remembered me. She suddenly threw my hand away, retreating 3 steps as if avoiding a plague. He gasped for air, trying his best to suppress the surging beastly instinct within him. His expression was incredibly grim. To actually be deluded by her and lose control. Don't think you can stay in the royal city with such tactics. This king will give you 10 boxes of top-grade genetic stabilizers and the most advanced diving pod. Take the things and leave Atlantis immediately. Never show your face again. Can you, at least, wait until I give birth to your child before making me leave? She cannot leave. I have just consulted the royal secret records. The mental power of the fetus in her womb is extremely violent. Without the soothing mental power of the king, both mother and child will explode and die. They are the future hope of our Atlantis. We must not allow any accidents to happen. Lanshi's face was as dark as a pot bottom. He stared at me coldly, trying to find a trace of a conspiracy on my pale face. But he failed. In my eyes, there was only the desire to survive. Fine. Very well. Since the high priest insists on her staying, then stay. But this king will never acknowledge this defective product as my consort. Take her back to the traveling palace and keep her under strict guard. Without this king's command, she is not allowed to leave even by half a step. I was half pressed and half floated by 2 sirens and taken to a cold traveling palace located at the highest point of the royal city. The palace was empty, without a trace of warmth. It perfectly matched the cold character of the new king. Having found a safe place to stay, I finally couldn't hold on any longer and collapsed onto the bed. But right then, a sudden, piercing electronic chime rang through the silent palace. My blood instantly ran cold. At the very bottom of the supply bag I had stolen, a very well-hidden microcommunicator, belonging to the laboratory, was flashing frantically. My dear daughter. Did you think that by hiding by the king's side, father wouldn't be able to find you? The hair-raising voice stopped abruptly. I slumped on the floor, gasping for breath, my whole body shaking uncontrollably. My adoptive father knows I am here. He could come for me at any time. Just as I caught my breath, from outside the metal door of the palace came a steady sound of footsteps. The door was pushed open. It seems you are even more complex than I imagined. Speak. Who are you really? The fetus in your womb. Why does it have such SSS rank energy? High Priest. I was an incubator in a laboratory in the depths of the waste sea. 3 days ago, when King Shi was fighting mutant sea beasts, he had a sudden genetic riot and fell into the deep sea. I used medicine to keep his bloodline. I fear the 3 embryos in my womb are not just the king's descendants, but the only key that can stop his genetic riots. Without the repair agent extracted from the newborns, the king will not survive the next genetic riot. What? 3 of them? Good child. From this day forth, I will keep you safe. After the high priest left, the palace fell back into a dead silence, and at this time, in the royal city operations center, Lanshi was staring at the holographic tactical map, feeling agitated. Just tell me, how did she manage to get my bloodline? Your Majesty. What's wrong? An inspection. This king is not concerned about her. I'm just going to see if that white mermaid is dead yet. But when he uncontrollably walked to the palace he controlled and pushed open that heavy metal door, the sight before him made his heart skip a beat. What happened? I was curled up on the cold floor, experiencing a torture worse than death. The 3 SSS rank embryos in my womb, lacking the father's mental soothing for a long time. It hurts so much. Damn it. Something happened, why did no one report it? Don't move if you don't want to die. The next second, a vast, pure and domineering SSS rank mental power flowed through his palm and was forcibly poured into my depleted bloodline. That was the absolute power belonging to the new king of Atlantis. I was burned by this domineering mental energy until my whole body trembled. I instinctively moved closer to the heat source, my hands tightly clutching Lanshi's clothes. He looked down, meeting my eyes, which were watery from the pain and the impact of the mental energy. The distance between us was too close. So close that I could feel his heavy, burning breath spraying on my cheeks. His ice blue eyes once again appeared uncontrollably. His Adam's apple bobbed violently, while his mental power soothed the embryos. It displayed a domineering possessiveness, frantically imprinting on my soul and invading my mental realm. I was kissed until I was breathless, slumping weakly into his arms, even my fingertips trembling. Just when I thought he would, like last time, completely lose control, Lanshi suddenly pushed me away. He stood up in disarray, his chest heaving violently, his eyes full of regret and agitation. Why is it that whenever I encounter this woman, my body stops obeying me? I just want to completely have her. She must have some secret. I have no feeling for S-rank purebloods. So how could I be addicted to a white mermaid? Take this and go to the Royal Resource Vault to get SSS rank nutrient solution. Don't let the child in your belly die in my palace. Feeling the intense pain finally subside, the corners of my mouth couldn't help but rise slightly. This high and mighty king doesn't seem as cold-blooded as he pretends to be. After my body recovered some strength, I took the pass and headed to the Royal Resource Vault. Along the way, the looks from the pureblood nobles showed extreme disgust and killing intent. It seems that the news of me storming the coronation and claiming to be pregnant with the royal heir has already spread throughout the royal city. Just as I reached the circular corridor of the vault, I saw a familiar figure blocking the way at the SSS rank extraction station. It was Chi Lin, the bully from the diving pod. What was she doing here? Chi Lin stared at my slightly bulging lower abdomen, her beautiful face distorted with jealousy. Standing beside her was a man, wearing the armor of a city defense general. It was indeed her brother, the deputy commander, Chi Feng. I recognized him. He was the one who stood up at the coronation to execute me. So they really are siblings. You lowly, defective product. How dare you lay a hand on our great king? A piece of trash with a rotting genetic chain is not worthy of carrying an SSS rank royal bloodline. You have defiled the faith of all Atlantis. The king is the only god of the waste sea, and he must not be desecrated by an inferior waste. Only by killing you can we wash away this great humiliation for the king. They could not accept that their high and mighty god could be possessed by a creature like me from the lowest level of the waste sea. This fury from their collapsing faith made them completely lose their minds. I protected my belly and backed away. Qi Lin gave me no time to react. She kicked over a bucket of waste radiation fluid nearby. The high-concentration corrosive liquid splashed straight toward my stomach. He wanted to destroy the stain that made him so furious. I ducked quickly to protect my belly, but it was a second too late. A few drops of radiation fluid splashed onto my tail. My ice-white scales were instantly corroded into charred, bloody holes. The pain was piercing. You're asking for death. It's you who is going to die. Troops, on alert. This pollutant has leaked radiation fluid. She wants to destroy the genetic vault of Atlantis. Look, everyone. She's carrying high-concentration waste sea radiation fluid. As the city defense general, my brother will never allow this defect to pollute the royal vault. For the purity of the king's bloodline, we must eliminate her immediately. Waste sea radiation fluid is extracted from the trenches. It's colorless and odorless, but this puddle reeked of rust and sulfur. It was foul-smelling. It was clearly industrial waste, left over from refining low-grade gene potions by the Black Clan. You brought it in on purpose to frame me. You dare quibble when death is at your door? Scum who pollutes the king's pure blood. Die. The gate was suddenly torn open by a violent force. A trident forged from deep-sea mystic iron, carrying a scream that tore through the water, precisely shattered the particle gun in Qi Feng's hand, and pinned it to the crystal floor at his feet. A violent SSS rank pressure enveloped the scene. Everyone knelt uncontrollably. Lan Shi arrived, clad in silver blue battle armor, stepping over the frost on the ground. Your Majesty! Your Majesty! This defective product has defiled your bloodline. I am cleaning up the stain for you. Step back. Why don't you become the king in my place? The people in my palace. Is it up to you to decide their life or death? My bloodline. Is it up to you to judge its worth? Listen clearly, all of you. What she carries is my pure-blooded offspring. Who gave you the courage to touch the heir of Atlantis? The deputy commander of the city defense has hidden radiation waste, intending to harm the royal bloodline. Strip him of his rank. Toss him and this woman into the heavy radiation trench. Your Majesty, spare us. Your Majesty, Your Majesty, Your Majesty. I know very well that the embryos in your womb are mine. But who exactly is the master behind you? The person who sent you to my bed. What do they want from Atlantis? It's Shindu, from the lab in the depths of the waste sea. My foster father. He used me to steal genes. And then wanted to take me back. These 3 embryos. The healing skills extracted from them can save my collapsing genes. And solve your gene riot problem. I came to you. Just to survive. To prove my position. If you think I am a potential danger, I will cut these things out and give them back to you now. Then I'll crawl back to the waste sea to die. Who taught you to prove it this way? Do you want to die? You don't believe me anyway. Better to cut them out and be done with it. Rather than suffer your suspicion. I believe you. So don't point a knife at yourself again. And stop using death to provoke me. Damn it. Shui Jiao. From today on, you and the children in your belly will be protected by me personally. It's been confirmed. The children in the mermaid's belly are mine. Have her move into my main hall. Activate the highest level of security. Also, issue a wanted warrant. Stop calling her that mermaid. Your queen has a name. It's Shui Jiao. The deep sea ice that wouldn't melt for 10,000 years. Finally knows how to care for someone. Good, the royal bloodline will continue. I am truly happy for your majesty. What did you say? The next day, I went to the medical tower with the clearance lawn she gave me. You must be Shui Jiao. I am Shuang Chan, the chief physician of the medical tower, and the king's exclusive physician during the Waste Sea Wars. Hearing you're pregnant with royal heirs, I am both happy for the king and worried for you. Shui Jiao. Your white mermaid genetic foundation is too weak. SSS rank embryos in your belly are like putting iron in a cardboard box. For the future of Atlantis and to save your own life, I sincerely suggest you consider transferring the embryos to an artificial pod. After all, maternal gene collapse leads to fetal deformity. That's a tragedy no one wants to see. I looked at her acting like a compassionate saint, pretending to think of the big picture. I couldn't help but sneer in my heart. If I didn't understand genetic research, I might have believed her kindness. But Shindu was a scientific lunatic. He insisted on gestating the embryos in my body, Because the embryos are both domineering and fragile. The mother's body is the best incubator. Once moved out of the mother, the mortality and deformity rates increase tenfold. I know you're reluctant. But if you won't give them up, then drink this gene optimization fluid. I prepared it for you overnight. It will minimize the embryo's drain on your vital energy and blood. Drink it quickly. Don't make the king worry. I stared at that tube of pale blue liquid, my eyes narrowing slightly. After being adopted by Shindu, I grew up immersed in the world of research. No potion in the blood sea could escape my eyes. This is indeed an extremely precious optimization fluid, but its base is extracted from abyss blue ring mother. This ingredient is a great tonic for pure-blood nobles. But for white mermaids with fragile genes, it will instantly sever the energy link between the womb and the embryos, leading to painless natural detachment. If I drink it, the children will turn into a pool of blood and flow out. And she, Xuanchan, would not only avoid murder charges, but even gain a reputation for trying her best, failing only because the mother was too weak. By Lanqi's side, how could there be such a malicious physician? I didn't take the optimization fluid. Physician Xuanchan, you are too thoughtful. However, this potion contains extract of abyss blue ring mother, doesn't it? Blue ring mother is a great tonic for purebloods. But physician, don't you know that the genetic chain of a white mermaid, once in contact with blue ring mother, will produce a strong rejection reaction, causing the embryo to detach naturally within an hour? You are the chief physician. Surely you wouldn't make such a basic common sense mistake? Or rather, you want to use this method of natural miscarriage to help ease my burden? And by the way, clean up this defect. Who isn't worthy of carrying the royal heir for the city? What nonsense are you talking about? I kindly prepared medicine for you, and you actually slander me like this. What's happening? Your Majesty, I saw that Shuijiao was weak, and prepared an optimization fluid to stabilize the pregnancy. But not only was she ungrateful, she slandered me in public, saying I wanted to harm the heir. I know she's from the lower levels, and is used to the wickedness of people, and is very defensive. But such blood-spitting is truly heart-wrenching. Is there a problem with the medicine? Yes. If I drink it, the children will be gone. As the chief physician, you don't even know your own potions? Since you think there's no problem, then drink it to test the efficacy for the queen. Your Majesty, Someone, come. Drag her away. Your Majesty. If you dare come within half a step of her again, I will show no mercy. Shuijiao, don't be so smug. Tomorrow at the Deep Sea Relics Analysis Assembly, I will expose your true colors. The next day, inside the Deep Sea Relics Analysis Assembly Hall, it was filled with the core nobles and top scholars of Atlantis. The heavy doors were pushed open. Lanqi and the high priest, one on each side, accompanied me as I walked into the hall. The whole place instantly fell silent. The nobles saw the king escorting me personally, even deliberately slowing down to accommodate me. Their eyes were full of shock and extreme dissatisfaction. Your Majesty, High Priest. This is the genetic test report for the white mermaid Shuijiao. Her genetic purity is extremely low and incomplete. Such a person has no right to enter the core assembly hall, much less stand beside the king. I brought the queen back. Who dares to object? Your Majesty, you cannot be deceived by her. Atlantis has always valued strength and genetic foundation above all else. She is a worthless white mermaid. Why should we respect her? Forcefully protecting her will only cause the entire royal city to lose heart. Let me do it. How do you want me to prove my foundation? Since you're thick-skinned enough to stay here, then prove your value to everyone. This sonar spectrum has been analyzed by the medical tower for a month without being fully decoded. Do you dare to analyze it in public? She carries the royal bloodline. She doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. Xuan, if you dare make things difficult for her again, I will strip you of your position immediately. Lanshi, it's fine. I can solve it. This sonar is not a medical command at all. This is the war resonance frequency of an ancient siren. Your interpretation of the peak in the third frequency is completely wrong. If you guide mental power based on your analysis, the entire war gene chain will snap on the spot. This is actually completely correct. You couldn't even get the basic frequency attribute right. The level of the medical tower's chief researcher is truly an eye-opener. This is nothing. You must have made a lucky guess. Do you dare to do a genetic purity test on the spot? Let everyone see how inferior the genes of this low-level white mermaid really are. You aren't worthy of gestating the royal bloodline. I said that's enough. Let her test it. Since they want to be convinced, show them. Let them see the power of the SSS rank. Bloodline in your belly. Ha 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 ha. See that? As expected, she's inferior goods. Ha ha ha, F-grade genes. Even lower than the lowest commoners. This is your true face. You are just a piece of trash that could die any second. Help mommy. The 3 pureblood embryos in my womb quickly gave a response. 3 terrifying primordial forces erupted simultaneously, producing a strong resonance with my maternal genes. The alarm on the tester suddenly became extremely shrill. The numbers on the screen began to jump wildly, so fast it made one's head spin. SSS. Finally. 3 golden S's froze on the screen, emitting an extremely dazzling light. The entire hall instantly fell into a deathly silence. All the mocking laughter stopped abruptly. I snapped my eyes open. On my originally dull white mermaid tail, those defective scales were undergoing a violent transformation. Layers of pale golden light shone from deep within the scales, exuding an extremely pure and noble royal pressure. This is gene awakening. Impossible. This is absolutely impossible. How could a low-level white mermaid awaken SS rank genes? Who still dares to say the queen is unworthy? Not a single person dared to utter a sound of doubt again. After the assembly ended, with unprecedented peace of mind and exhaustion, I returned to the main hall lawn she arranged for me. However, when I pushed open that heavy metal door, the smile on my lips froze instantly. In the shadows of the main hall stood a slender man, wearing a white lab coat. Good daughter. Dad has come to see you. This time, let's have a good talk. How could he be here? This is the most strictly guarded main hall in Atlantis. Are you surprised? Did you think with your little cleverness you could really escape my palm? I could send you to the new king's bed. So naturally, I could bribe those arrogant pureblood nobles in this city. What do you want to do? Take you away, of course, the most perfect experimental subject with SS rank gene awakening. Truly wonderful. As long as I take you back to the dissection table and extract the essence of these 3 embryos, I can become the god of the waste sea. In your dreams. Shui Jiao, did you forget? You took my medicine in the lab for 10 years. Those weren't medicines to cure you. They were microscopic gene-constricting toxins. The moment he pressed a button, an indescribable and immense pain exploded in my limbs. I screamed, the bone blade in my hand falling away. That feeling was like the gene chains in my entire body were being sawn by countless rusty saws at once. My internal organs were being torn apart. I crashed heavily to the floor. Shindu walked up to me, looking down at my painful struggle. He pulled out a cold tranquilizer gun and aimed it at my neck, just as he was about to pull the trigger. The metal gate of the main hall was suddenly smashed to pieces by an extremely violent force. You're dead. The new king, Lan Shi. This is just a new body double. If you want to save her, come alone to the Guishu secret realm. Shui Jiao. Shui Jiao. Shui Jiao. Your Majesty, the toxin from Shindu is devouring her vitality. Conventional medical methods are useless. Then use unconventional ones. The ancient records mention a sea god's tear in the Guishu secret realm. It can purify all toxins and genetic pollution in the world. Guishu Secret Realm? I'll go get it now. That place is full of ancient killing arrays and sacrificial beasts. It's a suicide mission. Shindu lured you there alone. He must have prepared an ambush in advance. Even if there's no chance of survival. I must go. I'm going too. Take me with you. That place is calling to me. I have memories of that place in my head. Fine. I will protect you even if it costs me my life. I will accompany you. Regarding the ancient arrays in the secret realm, I can be of help. 3 days later, after slaying countless beasts, we finally broke into the depths of the Guishu secret realm. The core of the realm was a massive crystal cave. As soon as I entered the cave, my heart began to beat violently. Following that strong premonition, I walked to the altar in the center of the cave. There, 2 sets of skeletal remains lay side by side. On their wrists and ankles were locked extremely thick black suppression chains. The hands of the remains were tightly clasped, protecting a waterproof encrypted tablet between them, as well as a bead emitting pure blue light. The sea god's tear. I tremblingly reached out to pick up the tablet. As soon as my fingertip touched it, a holographic projection instantly popped out. A man and a woman in research lab coats appeared on the screen. Their features were strikingly similar to mine. Shui Jiao. Our daughter. If you are seeing this image, it means Mom and Dad are no longer here. Shui Jiao. You were originally a top-tier pureblood SSS rank mermaid in the deep sea, but your genes were unstable at birth. To save you, we handed the research center to our most trusted guard, Shindu, and personally came here to find the sea god's tear. But Shindu betrayed us. He not only set traps in the secret realm to trap us until we died, but he also stole our research center. He even injected you with genetic pollution toxins, downgrading you, a natural-born king, into a defective product, turning you into an incubator for his embryos. Daughter, take the sea god's tear and live on. I stared blankly at the bones on the ground. It turns out I was never a defect at all. It turns out for 15 years, I treated my enemy as my father. It turns out Shindu not only ruined me, but also killed my biological parents. Extreme fury burned wildly in my chest. At the entrance of the cave, a burst of extremely grating applause suddenly rang out. Shindu, in his white lab coat, led a large group of fully armed Black Clan mercenaries as they walked in. The one following him was actually the traitorous Xuan Chan. What a touching family reunion scene. Your parents died here back then. Today, you will do the same. Don't even think about it. Your Majesty, you will also die today. Ah. The moment the red light fell, Lan Shi let out a muffled groan. He fell to his knees. His SSS rank mental power was suppressed by 70% by the array. Kill him. Capture Shui Jiao alive. Your Majesty. Take Shui Jiao and go. Xian Ming burned his entire being, turning into a flaming meteor that crashed directly into the core of the array. Boom! A loud explosion, a gap was blown in the array. The High Priest Xian Ming's body completely vanished into ashes in midair. High Priest. His sanity completely snapped at this moment. His originally ice-blue eyes instantly turned into a terrifying blood red. Ignoring the fatal risk of the SSS rank genetic riot within him, he forcefully overcharged his entire life essence. A world-destroying, murderous pressure erupted from him. Kill him. The metal gate deep in the realm slammed open. An extremely massive creature, stitched together from countless experimental remains, an artificial Siren King, rushed out. It let out a piercing roar and lunged directly at Lan Shi. The mercenaries' heavy cold weapons fired simultaneously, dense lasers frantically sweeping toward Lan Shi. Lan Shi didn't dodge at all. He withstood the high-temperature lasers that could melt steel, leaving a blood-red afterimage, and crashed directly into that artificial Siren King. The artificial beast's claws pierced right through Lan Shi's shoulder. Lan Shi didn't even flinch. At the cost of both arms being fractured, he suddenly exerted force on both sides. With his bare hands, he literally tore that massive artificial Siren King in half. Foul blood and flesh rained down on the ground. Shendu and the mercenaries all retreated in terror at this horrifying sight. Lan Shi knelt on one knee, his trident thrust into the ground to support his body. He gasped heavily, blood constantly seeping out from the cracks in his armor. With that strike just now, he had forcefully overcharged all of his origin power. His SSS rank gene chain, already on the brink of collapse, now showed visible cracks. The agonizing pain of his divine bones shattering made his body tremble violently. But he gritted his teeth tightly, not letting out a single groan. Using his last bit of strength, he looked up in my direction. Shuang Chan, hiding in the shadows, laughed in an extremely vicious manner. He crushed an ancient formation plate in his hand. Go to hell. The core of the secret realm emitted an extremely piercing hum. The ceiling of the entire crystal cave lit up with dense, destructive red light. This was the ancient self-destruct array of the Guishu secret realm. Dense pillars of destructive light crashed down instantly. He shoved me into the center of the altar, the absolute safe spot at the eye of the array. The next second, he turned around, using his tall body to shield me completely beneath him. The dense destructive energy pierced directly through Lan Shi's back. Lan Shi coughed up a large amount of blood, which sprayed directly onto my face. His once indestructible armor was completely shattered. I looked at the blood-covered Lan Shi. He collapsed just to protect me. Yet he still gripped his trident tightly to block the way in front of me. Extreme grief and fury instantly consumed me. I no longer had any hesitation. I turned around, grabbed the sea god's tear from my parents' remains, and swallowed it directly. A massive surge of ancient energy exploded within my body. The disintegration toxins deeply implanted in my heart were instantly and completely annihilated. A bloodline pressure exceeding SSS rank burst forth from me, sweeping across the entire scene. The seawater of the entire Guishu secret realm stopped flowing instantly, completely submitting to this pure blood pressure. Impossible. Pure blood energy surged directly into his body, instantly destroying all his genes. I casually threw the crippled Shuang Chan to the ground. Then I turned and walked toward Shendu. So what if you've awakened? I have already released the highest level genetic pollutant in the waste sea. Tens of thousands of civilians outside have already turned into aberrants. You can't save them. My theory of mutational evolution is the only truth in the waste sea. Ha ha ha, you're wrong. Evil ways will never become the truth. I bit my fingertip and dripped a drop of extremely pure true blood Onto the console next to my parents' remains. Primary system activated. The ancient research center left by my parents lit up its hub instantly. A massive holographic console appeared before me. I walked up to the console, my hands tapping rapidly on the virtual keyboard. In my mind, the orthodox genetic knowledge belonging to my parents and the energy data of the sea god's tier began to merge perfectly. What are you doing? Shendu. Let me show you what true science and bloodlines are. Perfect broad-spectrum gene. Purification wave deduction successful. I directly activated the Secret Realms broadcast tower. A dazzling blue light shot straight into the sky, becoming an invisible purification wave that instantly spread through the entire waste sea. On the holographic screen, real-time monitoring footage from across the waste sea was shown. Those once crazed and bloodthirsty aberrants, at the moment they touched the purification wave, the mutated tissues on their bodies quickly receded, and they regained their sanity and calm. Shendu stared fixedly at the screen. His 15 years of painstaking effort to mutation experiments he was so proud of were completely shattered in just a few seconds. Ah. This is impossible. Ag. My theory of evolution was right. Ahahaha. I rushed directly to the healing spring in the depths of the realm. I placed Lanchi into the spring water. The spring's warmth instantly enveloped us. I bit my wrist and dripped pure blood between his lips. The blood slid down his pale lips. His body began to tremble slightly. It's not enough. This isn't enough. Shuijiao, what are you doing? Saving you. Don't move. From this moment on, our souls are bound together completely.